Almost a year and a half ago, the students from Estanzuela were just beginning to play their first notes with string instruments. They took their opportunity very seriously, accepted the vision of Symphonies of Hope, and practiced regularly. Now, after months of hard work and telephone and internet lessons, they were ready to have their first music camp with us. Everyone was very enthusiastic and excited. After a week of practicing together, we had arranged several concerts in Monterey. Our first surprise was the weather. There was a cold snap the night before our two concerts at the elementary schools, and the temperature had turned much colder. Our concerts were outdoors, and we soon realized the change in temperature had put the instruments out of tune. Retuning the instruments took a bit of time, but we soon were ready with an enthusiastic audience. The first school was very well behaved. The children very much enjoyed hearing the different instruments.
Entonces espero toca. ¿El silencio? Y los datos, ¿no ven? Muy bien. ¿Y este?
Many of the teachers remembered having some of our students in their classroom in the past. At the end, they even gave us a special cheer. After the first concert, we had a short rest and then began to set up at the nearby elementary school. Each school is different, and the second school took longer to organize their children. We thought our group of players was pretty large until we saw all of their children. It would have been great to have another 50 players or so. Chris talked about each one of the instruments and gave one of the children a chance to try playing a little bit. Of course, everyone enjoyed Brian's demonstration of the timpanis. Everyone seemed to enjoy the time, and we look forward to playing again there in the future. The next day, we were scheduled to play at a nearby nursing home. We will all probably remember this occasion for years to come. The space was a bit tight, but after a while we were able to get situated. One of the hymns we sang at the end speaks of God's mercy to us in times of affliction and was very appropriate. It is hard to describe how appreciative all of them were. In the end, after the last hymn, the head nurse offered a prayer for us in our ministry that we will always remember.
Muchas gracias por la vida de cada uno de ellos, Señor. Gracias porque tú has puesto en sus corazones el servirte, mi Dios. Estos dones y talentos que tú les has dado, mi Dios, dales al 100%. Y donde quiera que ellos vayan, sean esa esperanza, esa sinfonía de esperanza, Señor, para este mundo que te necesita. Los bendecimos en el nombre de Jesús y les deseamos que sus caminos sean todos de gran provecho, donde tú seas su proveedor y tú prosperes su vida, así como prosperas nuestro corazón. En el nombre de Jesús, amén.
Amén.
Amén. Gracias por haber venido.
Dios los bendiga y que sigan triunfando.
Sí, muy bien. Gracias, Aurora.
We shared a greeting with each one of them before leaving and are looking forward to seeing all of them again in the future. May God bless them in a special way. Our next performance was supposed to be in a hospital, but the time frame did not allow for scheduling, so we set up a performance in the entryway of a local mall. Sometimes in the past, this mall would have very aggressive and unpleasant music blaring, but today all was quiet. As we began, it was quite a pleasant surprise for some of the shoppers and passers-by. One of our beginners was having a little hard time remaining focused. As we played more and more, people took interest. It was special being a part of brightening their day. In the evenings, all of the participants had a chance to share a meal and Christian fellowship. There is a real feeling of Christian fellowship and mutual encouragement and support in the Estanzuela group, and we are beginning to see that in other groups as well. It is very encouraging to take part and truly a real testimony to those around. The next day was Sunday morning, and we were scheduled to perform in one of the only English-speaking churches of Monterrey. This was the church where Noah, Sarah, and Jonathan had been baptized years earlier. The morning started well as we loaded up the instruments and prepared to leave. A few minutes into our journey, however, it became apparent that there was a major accident on the only available highway leading to the church. We were supposed to have time to arrive and then practice for an hour before the service. However, it took us every bit of an hour and 20 minutes just to get there. We arrived 5 minutes before the service was to start. The pastor said the congregation was ready. If we could set up in 5 minutes, we would play as planned. So we had the quickest and quietest setup ever. The congregation has known our family for years and is aware of all the effort we have put forth.
We're glad they're here to lead us in worship and music this morning. Thank you for your patience.
That same evening, we did another performance for the Estanzuela Church. The church building is much smaller and simpler than the English-speaking church, but the congregation is certainly very enthusiastic and greatly encourages their children. It was for us many weeks of intense activity, but we were so encouraged to see the progress they are making and to join together with them in a time of fellowship and reach out to bless others in their community. We all enjoyed the time together and enjoyed praising God with strings, psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs.